Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Strategy Talks and Mechanics Guide series. And in this episode, it's not really a strategy talk or mechanics guide, but I couldn't really think of any other series to throw this in. I just wanted to show off a tool that I made for you guys. Now, this tool was honestly something that was suggested in the Discord. One of you guys, Edelv, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, asked, "Is there a tool where you'd be able to see how likely it is that you'll get an X amount of ingredients or skill triggers within a certain amount of time?" Randon X. That's something I've needed more than once now, lol. Would like to see how likely it is that my Quagsire will provide me with at least 9 mushrooms within the next 6 hours. And that's exactly what this tool will do. This was a lot more difficult than I thought it was going to be. It was really, really easy to do. As of right now, Randon X doesn't really have a functionality for this. Probability math is very, very complex. In fact, just to show how complex it is, I had to make this into, like... It was easiest to break this up across multiple different spreadsheets, and the existence of AAA lists alone for ingredients overcomplicated things way more than I'd like to admit. But I made a tool, and it works. So it took me a while to finalize this. I thought I was going to have it done by the end of the day that day, but I didn't. And yeah, so here's what it does, and here's how to use it. So as you can see, there's time allotted. So this is how much time that you want to are willing to wait. So let's say you have 4 hours until dinner is over. So you have 4 hours until, and you want to get the right amount of ingredients. Let's say you need in that time you need down here, you have let's say a Raichu. I'll show one of my Raichus off. Let's see, this one. This Raichu produces apples. Let's say you need 10 apples in that amount of time. Then, based off of this, if you tell it that your mon has an AAA list, which it does in this case, 1, 2, 4, which is where these numbers come from. This is the level 1 proc, the level 30 proc, and the level 60 proc counts. And then here's where you tell it what type of list it is. And then you just tell it how many Pokemon that you're running helping bonus with, their energy percentage. So if they're at, let's say, 81 plus percentage, which is pretty typical if you're running a consistent healer. If you're running a good camp ticket or not, then it will do some auto calculations based off of, you just have to put in this number right here, their frequency, what is listed as their frequency in the game. You put that in, and it will do some back calculations. So in my case, it's 7 minutes, 48 seconds. It'll do a bunch of back calculations and then figure out what the odds are of getting that many ingredients in that amount of time. So I can see here that my odds of getting that many ingredients off of this Raichu in 4 hours, that many apples in 4 hours, is roughly 58.74%. Now, this is broken up down here in levels 1 through 29, levels 30 through 59, levels 60 plus. That's because as you unlock different amounts of ingredients, and depending on what list you have, the odds actually change pretty heavily, and the math actually changes very heavily behind the scenes as well. So, but this also works for ABC lists. So, in fact, you could tell it, like, okay, I want to get 10 ingredients. Let's use a different Pokemon. Let's pull up one here. What do I have a Pokemon with an ABC list in this list of? I don't think I do. Oh, I do. Walrein. Let's use Walrein as an example. So, Walrein produces 1 oil, 3 sausage, and then 4 ginger. So, it's an ABC list. Let's say I want to get 5 oil, 6 ginger, and 6 sausage and 20 ginger. Then, with this, we set it to ABC. It's level 60. If we say, let's say we're running good camp ticket, just throw some things together here. This Walrein approximately 44 minutes and 12 seconds. So I put that in. It'll tell me, these are the odds. Your odds of getting the amount of B ingredient that you want is decent. But you're most likely not going to get that many A ingredients in that amount of time. Or that amount of C ingredients. And honestly, this is each one individually. It processes The odds of getting all of them is going to be even slimmer because it'll be composite, but not quite, because every help this one gets will be less that this one could theoretically get. So it doesn't even, you can't even just multiply these numbers to get the exact numbers that you want. But it gives a roundabout idea of what it looks like. It also puts in skill procs. So now to get these numbers, your skill rate and ingredient rate, you'll have to pull them off of Randon X. If I pull up Randon X here and I look at my wall rain in production comparison, then here is where to pull that from. When you're looking at it in production comparison, you can just check the ingredient rate right here. And then down here is the skill trigger rate. Now, this is accounting for pity procs. Pity procs exist outside of the RNG system, so I'd say if you're trying to get the actual skill rate, actually figure out, you don't know where it's necessarily going to be on its progression towards getting a pity proc. So I'd suggest for the purposes of this calculator, when you're pulling the data, make sure you have this set to raw only. If you're premium and have the override option, you'll find it right here. If you don't have that option, then you got to go into settings, click others, and then adjust it right here to raw only before you can make that modification. So you can see it's 2.2%, so I can also see my odds of getting 2, maybe 3 skill triggers in that time by adjusting this to 2.2%. And then it tells me that in that amount of time, my odds of getting 3 skill triggers off of this wall rain is roughly 0.57%. That may be a little different because, like I said, this program doesn't account for help, or it doesn't account for pity procs. But overall, I think it's a pretty nice tool. Feel free to check it out. I'll leave a link in the description. It won't have editing capabilities. It'll have viewing capabilities, but you can make a copy of it. I don't recommend, I have a bunch of hidden lists, hidden spreadsheets down here. Unless you really know what you're doing with a calculator or with spreadsheets and want to see what I did with it, or if you want to make some sort of modifications, if you want to improve on it somehow, I wouldn't recommend messing with any of this. But if you do want to, go for it. It'll be your own copy, not the master, so you can make any sort of changes that you'd like. But yeah. As always, if you guys have enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Down in the description, we'll have a link to the Discord. Come join us, hang out, talk about all things Pokemon Sleep and the like, as well as have access to a lot of the tools that I've made through our tools channel in there, similar to this one. And yeah, if you feel so called, feel free to click that join button. I don't really have any members-only content. I don't like to paywall stuff. But if you want to support what I'm doing here and like what I'm doing, then and you are financially able to, then I won't turn down any donations. And yeah, as always, I thank you guys for watching and hope that you all have a wonderful day. Bye-bye now.